address the negative points that argued that she said that we should lower the drinking age. We were saying that because minors are getting alcohol from older people and it's promoting theft, but that's not necessarily what we're saying. We're saying that the lower the drinking age is promoting a culture that leads to theft. So for example, 17.5% of consumer spending for alcohol, which is $22.5 billion, is by teens purchasing alcohol at liquor stores. And so they're a big part of the population in that. And this law is ignored by 70% of students before they even come to college. So the argument isn't necessarily that they aren't doing it, but it's because we know that teens are drinking underage. We need to draw attention to it and not be blindsided to it, and promote a healthier culture. So 39% of 8th graders have been reported drunk and drinking, 58% of 10th graders, 72% of 12th graders, and 85% of the college students have all drank. So we know that drinking is happening regardless within American culture, and so now the next step is finding a way to make it safer for the overall population. So she mentioned that in American culture that we promote binge drinking, and this is true. If anything, that only supports our argument even more. We know that minors are binge drinking, and therefore we need to promote a system that leads to alcohol education by lowering the drinking age and teaching teenagers in high school the negative effects of alcohol and binge drinking. We can make American culture adapt to more of a European style in which there isn't a culture of secretiveness and like an underground way of drinking. European style culture promotes responsibility and civilized sobriety. They don't drink to get drunk because they realize that alcohol isn't a rite of passage to adulthood as American teens do. And she also mentioned that our brain cells do not fully develop till we're 25, and that means that we shouldn't be drinking at 18. But if anything, this only proves our point even more, because that means that the legal drinking age should be raised. If you're going to argue that the brain isn't developed, it isn't developed regardless of whether the drinking age is 18 or it's 21, and that only shows more so why we need to promote alcohol education for teens. Actually, alcohol in moderation is really good for human health. She said that heavy drinking deteriorates brain cells, and this is true, but that law applies to any heavy substance abuse. Alcohol is actually known to lower your risk of cardiovascular disease. It lengthens your life. It lowers your chance of diabetes and can decrease chances of dementia. And so by teaching moderation, American adults and teens can have these health benefits. We're shown that in alcohol, moderate amounts of alcohol raises levels of high density HDL or good cholesterol, and they're actually also associated with protecting against heart disease. So we're able to see that alcohol isn't necessarily a bad thing, and we shouldn't not talk about it, but we just need to learn to use it in moderation. So it applies to the standard that we don't allow teenagers to drive a car without teaching them how to drive, and the same thing should go for teens with alcohol.